So y'all had Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and then you at the 5. Do you think that's the best starting lineup we've ever seen in basketball?
Healthy, yes. With everyone healthy, no doubt about it. Absolutely.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to The Reel, where we sit down with some of the world's best athletes and react to their highlights. I'm your host, Kenny Beecham, and today we have a very special episode because I'm here with Demarcus Cousins. How you doing today, bro?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Now, you're a very electric man. I got to admit that if I'm ranking like my favorite centers over the past decade, you're at the top of the list. 3-time AllStar, got some gold medals. So what we're going to do is react to your highlights starting all the way back in college until where we're at today. Does that sound cool?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
So we're starting off here. Tell me what's going on in this play. We're back in Kentucky for you.
This was the SEC tournament, I believe. To be honest, we were supposed to lose that game. For the most part, in that moment, we actually thought we did. And, John, we drew up a play to miss the free throw, which Bledsoe did perfectly. And, John ended up getting a shot attempt in the corner, which didn't go as planned. And, luckily it was a few seconds. I got my hands on the rebound and get it up against the backboard and lay it in, tie the game, and, take it in the overtime.
One of my favorite parts of this clip, I think that's John Wall, right? John Wall jumps on you.
For sure.
And then everybody celebrates it. And you got to remember that, we still got more basketball to play.
Like I said, I knew for a fact I tied the game, so I was excited for that in general. But I do believe some of my teammates thought we won the game.
Right.
That was kind of the reaction you got after the shot was made. After this scene, I had to, get my nose plugged because it was running with blood.
Oh, wow.
But eventually we ended up pulling this game out and actually winning. So that's definitely one of my favorite college memories.
I mean, y'all had the #1 recruiting class that year. I mean, it was a lot of hype going into Kentucky that season.
It was. We had a lot of pressure going in. The whole one and done thing was kind of frowned upon at that time. It's a totally different story now. The young players are praised these days, but we were frowned upon. We were told we weren't going to be able to do a lot of things. We overcame a lot of obstacles and hurdles in front of us, and we were able to go to the Elite Eight that year. I believe our record was 35-3. I may be wrong. Mm-hmm. 35-3, 38-3, something like that.
It's something like that. Y'all were dominating.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we were rock stars that year. So, that was one of the most fun times in my entire basketball career.
So, Kentucky has produced a lot of NBA players. I'm going to need your all-time Kentucky starting 5.
All-time Kentucky starting 5?
Yep.
Oh, man. I'm going to go with John Wall at the 1.
Okay.
I'm going to go Jody Meeks at the 2.
Okay. All right.
Jody Meeks at the 2. Jamal Mashburn at the 3.
All right.
Anthony Davis at the 4 and myself at the 5.
That's a great team right there. That's a great team. Right. So now let's transition to some of your NBA highlights. Of course, you're talking about with you, the Sacramento Kings. And this first clip, explain to me what's going on if you remember.
Typical break. Got a board. I started pushing, to make a play, maybe pass ahead, just looking to create a play. As I was dribbling, I saw the lane was never clogged. They never closed the lane. They never attempted to stop the ball. So I continued to go till I was able to get to my launching pad and, I took off.
I know things are happening.
Somebody so happened to be in my way at the same time.
So, right, that was my question. Like, do you really recognize that Jay Crowder's right there? Or is he just non-existent in your eyes?
Honestly, he was non-existent. I mean, once I took that jump, I had one thing on my mind, which was to finish the play. So I didn't really care if you were in my way or not.
Plays like this kind of got me wondering, who were you looking up to growing up to get it to where you're basically a 7-foot big that can run the floor, can pass, can knock down shots? So who are you watching as a young Demarcus trying to emulate?
Oh, man. On a professional level, my favorite player all the time is Carmelo Anthony from Oak Hill all the way through. So that was who I've always favored when it came to basketball. So it was Carmelo, it was Amari Stoudemire, Pau Gasol, and Shaq.
Okay, that's the blend of your game right there. It's all of them.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. I used to love the way Pau passed the ball. Obviously, Shaq was a dominant force. I love that part of his game. I love the fact that Amari Stoudemire tried to dunk everything that he touched. And it was just Carmelo with his size, handle, and skill set, shooting ability. I wanted all of those intangibles in my game. So watching those guys, I just kind of, meshed everything together. And, I guess you got Demarcus Cousins.
And so we're going to go over to the 2017 All-Star game. You may know what clip I'm bringing up next, the post-game interview.
All-Star questions first, please. Yeah. All-Star game questions.
What other questions we got?
Hey, Demarcus, can you kind of sum up your All-Star experience? And
Oh, really?
can you
That's whatever.
Can you sum up your All-Star experience? What it was like for all the great players?
It was amazing, man. I enjoyed the city of New Orleans, I love it here in New Orleans.
That's a legendary interview. It's a legendary interview right there. So talk to me, everything going through your brain. I'm guessing maybe that's your manager, your agent letting you know that you just got moved.
That was actually at the time the Sacramento Kings PR.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so I guess I still don't really know the details of that whole situation, but at the moment he whispered to me, I had just been traded to New Orleans. Once I was receiving the news, I just wanted to play it as cool as possible. Obviously I didn't really have time to gather my thoughts or even take it in. So just try to play it cool as much as I could and remain professional, which I think I did a great job doing.
I think you did too.
Like I said, I don't really know the details or what it was. There was a lot of rumors circulating. But for me, at that moment, it was always rumor. And now knowing what I know, where there's smoke, there's fire. So you kind of want to pay more attention to it. But throughout my whole tenure in Sacramento, there was rumors every season about me being traded. So I never really paid attention to it. For all of that, I just flew in with the GM, the owner. We were all on a private jet together. So we flew in to All-Star together. That night, I flew back alone. So like I said, it was a wild situation. I mean, in that specific moment, I was just trying to play it as cool as possible.
So once the initial emotions are gone, how are you feeling about, teaming up with Anthony Davis and playing in New Orleans?
I was excited, man. I never played with a talent like that. And, speaking of AD, that's something I always wanted in Sac, was just to be able to have, a special talent beside me, which never happened. But, once it happened, I was excited. I embraced it. And, for the short term, we did play together. I think we did some special things. I think it could have been something special in a long run type of situation, but unfortunately that never happened.
Player coaches are the ones that people usually gravitate to, players. So why do some organizations decide not to maybe get a player's coach and instead get somebody that's maybe more strict or less lenient?
I don't believe every organization's plan is to always win and cater to their players. Some organizations are just trying to make it through the year, ticket sales. Sometimes they just grab a name that, fans will gravitate to. It's not necessarily going to lead to wins, but, they're just checking off boxes to make sure their names are clear for the season.
And listen, I know that too well. I'm a Bulls fan, so I know about
that's a great example.
Things going on behind the scenes and stuff. All right, so for the next highlight, we're going to your 55-point game against the Trailblazers. Now, so explain to me, do you see Myles Leonard before the game starts like, okay, this is a game, I'm dropping 50?
Yeah, it was kind of a build-up. It was every time we played Portland, it was always a tough game. They were a good competitive team. They always are. But it was kind of a fire built up, between fan bases. And, at the time, they were hyping Myles Leonard about. I think Myles Leonard had one game where he defended me well. I wouldn't even say he defended me well. I had a bad game. I'm going to put it like that. And it kind of got to his head. So I always took that personal. And, every chance I got to play against, I wanted to make sure I put at least 30 on his head. And this was just one of those nights.
One of those nights for sure. 55 points. But this game is not just memorable because you dropped 55. What else happened in this game?
Oh, with the mouthpiece. So I had just made an and one play. It was a clutch bucket towards the end of the game. And I went, I'm a trash talk. I love to talk trash. I went to talk trash at the Portland bench, and my mouthpiece flew out. So, you know, obviously, and I don't blame him. If I'm that team and the guy's destroying us that night, I'm going to do whatever I can to get him out of the game as well. So, you know, they went to the ref saying I spit my mouthpiece at him and all this, you know, the extras. And, you know, once they realized, they initially ejected me for it. And once they realized, like, that wasn't the case, they ended up bringing me back, which was a first. I believe. I've never seen it in an NBA game. You know, they eventually brought me back. I finished out the game. And I ended up winning. So
I remember that ejection because I think once they ejected you, you just bolted. You went straight to the locker room. You was gone.
I was hot. I was hot. I couldn't, like, it was a chance for us to win it. Well, it was obviously it was the clutch part of the game. It was a close game the entire game. And for my night to end that way on, you know, what I felt was a BS call, you know, I wasn't really happy about that. But, you know, eventually they ended up getting the call right. They brought me back. And like I said, we were able to win the game.
And then at the end of it, you had your post-game interview. And that's a monumental moment.
I hope the world can see now what's really going on out here because it's getting ridiculous. It's really ridiculous.
They cut your mic. So talk to me about the relationship with you and, like, the refs around the league.
You know, I came to realize I was a tough guy. You know, the ref. I'm a physical player. I have a weird game. I'm physical, I'm finesse, and I have a skill set as well. So I'm a tough guy to ref. I feel like I get fouled every possession, which may be the case, it may not, but that's just how I feel. And for some refs, they feel like they can't make every call, which is maybe fair, it may not. So it's always that gray area, and you know, me and the refs clash.
Right.
But like I said, I think they ended up getting the call right by bringing me back, and you know, I finished it off the right way.
So we're about to play a smaller game. Mm-hmm. It's called Tech or No. We got some highlights and you get fouls, and we're gonna revisit, and you tell me if you deserved it. Okay?
Gotcha.
All right, let's get it. So this is a play against Dwight Howard.
Oh, I remember this one. I touched his kneecap.
So you saying you didn't deserve this one?
Absolutely not. Absolutely. I remember that play. I don't. I was pissed about the foul call in general. Dwight just flat out missed the dunk.
Yeah.
But to call that touch, like, it's not even a foul. To call my finger on his kneecap, that's not a foul.
So first one, no tech.
No, I'm not agreeing with that one.
All right, next. You get tangled up with, I think that's Montiunas, and then you like kind of swipe back and you hit him in the face a little bit. But it don't seem like it was intentional, but they gave you the tech.
Oh, yeah. You know what's crazy? This was at the time where they were kind of making this new rule, like after play flails, and if you so happen to hit a guy, it was technical. Or I'm not agreeing with this one.
I think we got one more. So you get tangled up with Thomas Bryant on this one.
Uh-huh.
And y'all just running down the court connected.
Yeah, I deserve that one. I shouldn't have pushed you like that. I deserve that.
So the refs get one right.
It was more the fact that I feel like he was being extra. It wasn't even really necessary. Like, just get off of me. Yeah, I deserve that one, for sure.
So you know that the perception of Demarcus Cousins is kind of it's similar to what we see in these videos, right? Where you wear your heart on your sleeve on the court, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way. Do you think that perception of you is warranted?
I guess it kind of depends on who you ask. Obviously, I'm biased, and I'm gonna say no.
Right.
But I'm an emotional player, and I feel like emotions show that you care. I'm not the nonchalant, just emotion, like no emotion, like basic dry face. It's not me. You're gonna know when I'm happy. You're gonna know when I'm upset. You're gonna know when I'm excited. That's just how I'm built. Is perception always the right thing? In my opinion, no. But like I said, that's what it is in this biz.
All right, let's get back to some more highlights. We have a chase down block on KarlAnthony Towns. Two of the best bigs going at it. Now, This is not like first of all, explain to me what you see in this play.
I could be honest about it. Now, me and AD wanted to, kind of make a point about who the big dogs were. Obviously we have a Kentucky connection.
Right.
Karl was a young guy still in the league, and they were, in our opinion, kind of overhyping him or giving him too much credit before, he actually earned it. And we just kind of wanted to humble. So we actually held him to 4 points that night. And, that was just part of the statement. So that's all that was.
That's interesting because I mean, you held him to 4 points. So KarlAnthony Towns, like we know KarlAnthony Towns is a guy that can get you 30, every night.
Absolutely.
So you hold him to
Super
4.
talented.
So far in your career, Demarcus, you've only matched up against Joel Embiid twice, but both times something happened. So tell me what's going on in this clip.
Oh, I really don't know what happened in this situation. I know it was a good fun. It was good fun, and obviously I speak highly of him in the interview afterwards.
What are your thoughts on Joel Embiid?
I like that kid a lot. I don't give a lot of people props, but I like that kid a lot, man. I think he got a great chance of being the best big in this league after I retire.
He's a really good player, and he gained my respect that night.
So explain to me your top 3 centers in the game right now, not including Demarcus Cousins. Who you got up there?
If AD is playing center, he's not. If AD is a power forward, obviously not. If AD is, I'm going to put AD number 1. But let's just say AD is a power forward in this situation. I like Joel. I like KarlAnthony Towns. And I like Bam.
Okay. All right,
I like Bam a lot. Yeah, I like Bam. I don't really think he's a center. I think he plays our position, but I would say Bam. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to transition to now your time with the Warriors. So knowing all the flack that KD got when he joined the Warriors, did it cross your mind a little bit, you know what I'm saying, when you decided to also join them?
Yeah and no. I didn't feel like our situations were similar. Obviously, I'm coming off a career-ending type injury. A lot of opportunities weren't, presented to me as compared to KD. So, like I said, I think it's 2 different, situations. But, I made the decision I felt was best for me at the time. And I don't really give a damn how anybody else felt in general anyway. So, this is my life, my career. And like I said, I don't really give a damn what anybody thinks.
So y'all had Steph, Clay, KD, Draymond, and then you at the 5. Do you think that's the best starting lineup we've ever seen in basketball?
Healthy, yes. With everyone healthy, no doubt about it. Absolutely.
Before you signed with the Warriors, you had your little scuffles with Draymond and KD. Mm-hmm. Is that something y'all talked about after signing or even before signing?
Nah, because I think we all knew like it was in the game of basketball. Me and Draymond have had that relationship since, I guess you could say, since we started playing. Mm-hmm. Me and Draymond actually became really good friends at, Team USA in Rio. Most of those scuffles were after that, while we were already friends.
Right.
But just 2 competitive guys, doing what we got to do to win. And neither one of us ever backed down from anything. So when you get those 2 type of personalities, that's probably the type of results you're going to get. But, Draymond's one of my better friends in the NBA. And the same thing goes with KD. It's all in competition. Me and K talk trash when he was in OKC. Like, It was really no different. So it's just all in basketball, and at the end of the day, it's love.
So speaking of Rio, there was one picture that went somewhat viral. It was a picture of you and Kevin Durant standing next to each other. Do you remember that picture?
Yeah.
And all the Twitter were trying to figure out, is Kevin Durant secretly 7 foot tall? Now, you were his teammate. You played against him a bunch before that. How tall is Kevin Durant really?
I honestly don't know. And the reason I say that is, I can be honest, I'm 6'10". Okay. I get labeled as 6'11", but I'm 6'10". I feel like I'm one of the shorter post guys in the NBA in general. But with that being said, I feel like it has more to do with KD's build that makes him seem that much more taller. He's the tall, slender type of guy. So compared to, I'm a wider, bigger guy. So that's my opinion. But honestly, I don't know how tall KD is. He's from anywhere between 6'9" and 7 feet. That's all I can say.
So going back a little bit to the 2018 AllStar game, Anthony Davis put on your jersey during the AllStar game. Is this something that you knew beforehand?
Yeah, I was actually at this AllStar game. I was in the locker room. They put me and AD's locker room right by each other. So, we were talking before the game. I'm like, wear the jersey. He's like, all right, cool, I'll do it. Obviously the rest of the world didn't know it, but we had a conversation about it before. We kind of checked with the NBA and they were okay with it, and AD is one of my good friends as well. I look at him like a little brother, and you know, he showed love for me that night. After everything that happened to me that season, that was just his way of showing me some love. And I was appreciative of that. So, you know, that's all that was.
So you just mentioned that Anthony Davis is like a little brother to you. Was he like the driving force of you signing with the Lakers?
He was. Him and Rondo. And obviously, you know, Bron put his impact on it as well towards the end. But initially, it was brought to me from, you know, AD and Rondo. Two guys that I had prior relationships with. You know, I played with Rondo in New Orleans and Sac. And, you know, me and AD in New Orleans.
So right now you are rehabbing, right?
I am.
So during the rehabbing process, is there times where you just try to add to your game, or is it all about recovery?
Right now, for me, my biggest thing is I want to get my body in the best shape possible. I want to get it as strong as possible. And hopefully it's the end of the injury stint I had. Just trying to correct my wrongs. And, you know, obviously my body was telling me something with the injuries stacked on top of each other. So just trying to correct that, get it as strong as possible, like I was saying. And I look forward to finishing out my career on a strong way.
So there was a little rumors or some reports that some teams hit you up before the bubble was supposed to start, but you decided to just stay at home and rehab. But let's say you did accept the offer to be in the bubble. How do you think you would adjust to it?
I'm a guy that came from poverty. Like, I feel like I can adjust to anything. I've seen every side. I've lived, like I said, in a poverty type situation, and I've lived a luxurious life. So, and I feel like I can adjust to anything. At the end of the day, we were playing basketball. And that's the main goal. So I think all of that would have been out the window once we stepped on the court anyway.
So with your time with the Lakers, you went on to, I think it was All the Smoke, and you talked about how it was just a whole different vibe than any team that you had been on. And what did you mean in that?
I think the front office did a great job of just putting a group of like real genuine dudes together. It's, you know, you kind of get the politically correct type guy sometime in a locker room, and not saying it's a bad thing, to each his own, but it's not always a good mesh with, you know, say a person that's a little more rugged around the edges. But I think the front office put together, you know, the perfect blend of guys. And, you know, when I tell you it was no arguments, no negative energy, like just good vibes, positive energy. Everybody loved being around each other. This is the first team I've ever been on where all 15 guys will hang out together and like actually enjoy being around each other. Being around somebody for so long, you get tired of it. You know, like it's just a natural human instinct. But that was never the case with this team. And I mean, you can look at interview after interview from every guy on that team, and you know, we're all saying the same thing. So this isn't, you know, gas or putting the extras on. This is, you know, the honest truth. And I think that's what, you know, helped with, well, one of the factors that helped with the success of, you know, that Lakers team.
That's pretty much all we got for you, Demarcus. Thank everybody that went out and watched. This has been The Reel. Demarcus, thank you for taking the time. You got anything else you want to say before we wrap up?
Nah, man, that's everything. I appreciate you guys for having me, and I enjoyed my time.
Thank you again, Demarcus, for coming on. And we out.